Okay.
There you are.
You said
Yeah.
you did what today?
What did I do today?
Let's
Yeah,
start with that last
I
part. I
updated
want
my relationship status today.
hell
So
yeah.
I'm officially in a relationship.
Let's go. How do you feel?
Oh, it feels incredible. Feel proud.
That's awesome. So first of all, now that we're officially on here, tell us what's your name?
My name is Claudia. I go by Claudia Freedom.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you go by Claudia Freedom?
Oh, because that's my highest value. I want freedom in all parts of life.
Freedom in all parts.
Like freedom of mind, emotion, how I move in the world, like freedom of how I think and speak and act. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. So now tell us about, and we'll know a little bit. I'll just give them a little bit more. Cloudy is an entrepreneur from Sweden. She sells the highest quality water and the water filtration ionizing machines to people all over the world so that they can have better health because, we're made of like 80% water. And so she's making sure that everybody is optimized and functioning at their highest at all times. That's how we first connected because I was like, damn, you're amazing for doing that. Thank you so much. And now she's here and she's saying that she's in a relationship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about that story. Like how'd you guys meet? How long have you been dating before it became Facebook official? Tell us about your
Wow.
guy.
Yeah, we met a little bit more than a year ago in Tulum. It was really exciting. I was actually searching for a Shibari partner. If you
Hey,
know what Shibari is, for
I know
you
what
who's
Shibari is.
listening.
Go ahead and tell our viewers about Shibari.
Yeah, for you who don't know, it's like a Japanese art of tying ropes on the body. It can be used like for an artistic expression or going more into like really going inward. Like it's a very beautiful, surrendering kind of meditative practice to drop into surrender with a partner or a friend or someone you're practicing with. So that was something that I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn how to tie, and he was like, "I'm down to be your partner, like
Mhm.
shibari partner. You can practice on me."
So that was like on the internet, like you put out an ad on Facebook or something.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome. And he was like, "Pick me,
Me,
pick number
pick
two,
me. And I
little."
was like, "Yeah, sure, cool." And he looked like just some nice regular guy, kind of like I wasn't really searching for anything. I felt like my heart was really like locked up after my previous partner. I was like really like having a hard time letting my previous partner go. It was like
Okay.
1.5 year already. But then when this guy came into the picture, although like I've met several like attractive and intelligent and spiritual and like interesting guys, but there was just like no sparks.
Hmm.
And then this guy comes in the picture and it's sparks flying all over the place. And I'm like, whoa,
Yeah, so
what's going
tell us
on?
about we'll keep going down that timeline because I am super interested and there's going to be gold at every step of the way. But in the spirit of what women want, tell us about some of the things that created those sparks. Like what made you like, oh, this guy's different.
Yeah, I'll let you know. The absolute first thing was I shared with him like a vulnerable story of why I wanted to learn about Shibari and how I had a hard time letting go of my previous partner and I wanted to do something with him when I went to Sweden. And I kind of like shed a tear and I was like a little bit sad and he just took my hand and was very present with me and just helped me, just comforted me. And I was like, whoa, that was like really beautiful to just be held and seen in that moment with no judgment and just pure presence like that.
Hell yeah. So a man is like
Mm.
creating space for you to feel safe expressing your emotions
Yeah,
as opposed to like,
exactly.
what what we're often taught of like machismo is like avoid emotions at all costs. Try to fix the problem immediately so that you don't have to experience her emotions at all.
Yeah,
Which is good.
exactly.
So he was cool with your vulnerability and he created that space that he could be vulnerable as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
And
awesome.
also
Okay.
during our practice, it was like we he opened up to like when we were tying each other, we would help each other. Like in this like surrendered state, is there something that you would need to hear?
Hmm.
Like from the feminine or from
Hmm.
the masculine, what would you need to hear to be able to let go or release or heal? And we would give that to one another in this very safe container, like non-sexual but like still very like charged kind of container.
Wow, that's amazing. So it was like you played the role of the divine feminine and he played the role of the divine masculine and you two specific humans were like conduits of the deeper polar energy and then you communicated to each other through that place. That's so awesome. I mean, if you don't mind sharing, like what was what were some of the things that were said around like that allowed him to heal as a man, hearing from the divine feminine, or that allowed you to heal as a woman, hearing from the divine masculine?
Wow. Let me try to remember. It was quite some time ago. And sometimes with healing, it's like it just kind of like takes it away
Totally.
from you. And you're just like, wow, you let that go. But for me, I think it was like this whole journey has been a lot about like just feeling like I am seen.
Hmm.
Like I am seen and I am appreciated for who I am, not just for how I look. Like because like it's been easy for me to attract men for how I look, but I want to be seen for who I am. Like I want to be attractive for my person, my drive, my values, and for everything that I do. That's what I want to be seen for. And for him, it was more about feeling desirable
Hmm.
because he was in a sexless relationship at that time, struggling, really struggling with feeling desirable and feeling loved. And like, I can't even imagine how that feels, like going month and month or a year
Hmm.
without like really connecting sexually as well.
Intimacy, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing so much. And I'm sure, yeah, that's, the viewers know because I say this all the time. It's never about the specific words. It's about the intention behind it, right? And so it's like if
yeah.
you are looking as a man to feel more desirable, you should probably first of all focus on giving yourself that love, right? Desiring yourself, seeing yourself as someone worthy and deserving of being desired by women, but also seeing women, really understanding and appreciating individual women for who they are and not, you know, a set of tits and a nice ass type shit. It's like you gotta go deeper than that if you really want this attraction. Okay, so he's created the attraction. The sparks are flying. You guys are doing Shibari together. What comes next?
I mean, it's was complicated because he was in a relationship, right? And he was also a very loyal man. And that didn't make it easier for me. I mean, I was super attracted to him, and he was also super loyal. And I'm like, oh, my heart was just like, oh, I want a man like this,
That's
like
another
a
that's another
loyal
green
man.
flag is like a the loyalty. A guy who's not
Yeah.
just gonna like jump ship on something else immediately, even if it's not exactly what he's looking for. He's like, I can't just throw this away. I can't just put this other woman who I love and trust under the bus
Mm-mm.
like that. Totally.
Of course not. Yeah.
Also, quick tangent. You can't hear there's a fucking leaf blower in the distance. You can't hear that, right? Okay, cool. Just checking. I was like, I don't want to be distracting to you. Okay, so keep going. I love it. I love this story. That's I feel like stories are just like the best way that we learn and connect with each other.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like that was like a story of like us kind of wanting to connect but not being able to.
Hmm.
And he like already thinking about leaving his previous relationship because, not for me, but for
Hmm. Hmm.
reasons that you might understand already. Like it was dying out. But like for him feeling more like desirable and having that passion that he was wanting, even though we didn't act on it, it was like we could feel it, it was like undeniable. And like, so he had to start, communicating with his partner about it. And she would kind of like let us kind of like try it out. And when we were able to kind of like kiss and make out, she got super nervous, of course, and just like, no, 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 by the way, like, I don't want to lose this man. Let's try for real. So that's what they did. They just like, okay, we're gonna try for real.
Hmm.
That's when I went to California year
Hey.
ago to visit this incredible man, Kevin. So that was fun as well. And then I had a summer in Sweden, just minding my own business, drinking my water, you know, hanging out with my teammates, really focusing on myself, you know, and trying to just let this man go, like wishing him the best, like blessing him and his girlfriend, like hoping that it would work, even though I like, there was something in me like, there's no way they can, like, I had this feeling like, no way that they are having what we would be able to
Yeah,
have.
totally.
Like I had this feeling like it's something that's meant to be, or it's like it's really strong pull. And yeah, I mean, I want that for myself. I want that for others as well. It's really something extra. It's really special. But then I came back to Tulum and I met him again and he broke up with his girl and then we've had like a
What?
long kind of
So they
journey.
broke up while you were in Sweden.
No, when I came back to Tulum.
Oh, he was like, okay, I see you again, and I know this is the real thing. I can't waste my time with this other thing anymore that isn't you.
I don't know if it was like that, but like they had tried to make it work, but it's like trying to make it work or like actually trying to act on something that feels like more like natural.
Hmm.
I don't know. Trying to make things work can be exhausting as well.
100%.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
on a certain level, it's like your relationship isn't a business. It's not always going to be the simplest thing ever. It's not always going to be easy. There's going to be challenges for sure, but in my heart of hearts, I feel like it shouldn't feel like a grind. It shouldn't feel like this thing that
No,
you have to wake up and keep like climbing this mountain on in the same way that
of
like that
course. It should
that
be
is often
peaceful
your
and fun.
yeah, that
Yeah.
that is often your entrepreneurial journey is a grind. Your fitness journey is a grind. Like hell, Lord knows, like a lot of the time getting money in this world, especially when you're first getting started, is a grind. And so if you can
Mm,
have this
yeah.
thing in your life, like this person in your life and this space, this connection, this relationship that, as you just said, feels peaceful and fun and playful and respectful and like is a reprise, is a step away from a lot of the things in life that are so difficult. It's like you gotta take that.
Yeah. Yeah, to have like that excitement and just feeling like yes, yes, this is my person, waking up in the morning just feeling like, oh my God, I'm laying here beside my person. Like, oh my God, it's just so incredible.
I love it. And so I can hear it in your voice right now, right? The inflection as soon as you think about these moments and you think about him and seeing his face and waking up next to him, it's like it raises in pitch and it's like the emotion is there. Tell us a little bit about like, what we talked about a little bit about like the sparks, but how did you know that he was like your person? What are some things that he does or some emotions that you feel that bring about that like he's the one-ness?
Mm, mm. I think it's just the fact that I just can't kind of like get enough of him.
Hmm.
Like the way he feels, the way he smells, and like when I look at him, I just feel like,
Uh-oh. She's frozen. Cloudy.
like my whole.
Okay. You cut out there for a second.
Oh, I don't know what happened.
It got too emotional. It got too electrically charged.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
no, but you
I'll
were
try to
saying
tone it down.
just the way that he feels, and when you look at him and then you like froze like this.
Yeah.
If
And
you
I freeze and I'm like, wow. And I feel like this awe around him. Like sometimes I just look at him when like maybe he's meditating or praying or something, and I'm like, I just feel like I just want to cry. Tears of
Mhm.
joy, like just being in the presence of him. Like we don't even have to do anything. Just be together feels just like it fills my heart.
Okay,
And we're
cool. So
dancing together, and like dancing is like my primary language, and when we dance together we dance the same way. We have this really weird kind of just free flow dance, and it's just feels like we're kind of like made to dance together.
hell yeah. So if I'm hearing you correctly, it's less about the things that he does and more about the person that he is, right? So
Yeah,
let's we're gonna dive deeper into that person that he is in a moment. But I do like to give these guys as much like tangibles as possible, right? So you're talking about meditation. He has a practice where he stills his mind and creates presence in his life, right?
every day.
Anything else about meditation or prayer that's sexy for you?
I mean, all of that is so sexy, like being with oneself and one's own thoughts, and kind of like working on one's own self-awareness and peace.
Hmm.
It's just, yeah, it's underrated for sure.
For
Like,
sure, right?
and also
It's the
like,
biggest dating hack in 2024. Just start meditating.
yeah, and also like whenever I feel like he has received me, like if I've been sharing something important to him, like something that goes on in me, something that's important, and I can see in his actions or hear in his words that he's actually taken that in,
Mm,
run that through his own system, and started to act on that because he wants to be a good partner for me. He wants to show up as someone who is supportive, uplifting, or just kind of just takes away my issues
mhm.
because he wants to make my life easier because he's very masculine. He just wants to, you know, support, and that's it's so odd.
And that's a lot easier to do when you have that stillness and space in your own life. So
Oh yeah, oh
the
yeah,
other thing that you said, and I want to touch on something that so many nuggets here. Um, Dancing. You talked about dancing as like an activity that guys can do, and so that's from my perspective, it's like a movement practice, right? So you're like
yeah.
really connecting on like a physical level, building that like physical intimacy, even if it's like pre-sexual, and you're also s- switching up the energy, right? You're not allowing the body to grow stagnant. You're not allowing the emotions to grow dormant. You're keeping everything in motion. You're creating the endorphin flow. You're creating the hormonal balances, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anything else about dancing that really turns you on?
So I wanted to learn about couple dancing, like salsa
It's also hell
and
yeah.
bachata, since I live in
And
Mexico,
you're in Mexico,
it's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
very popular over there. So I wanted to do that, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not into like this couples dance. It's too kind of like structured for me and stuff like that." And then I was away for a while in Mexico City, And then I see on his stories that he started practicing salsa. Another thing, like he's picking up what does
Yeah.
Claudia want?
Yeah.
He starts doing that because he's like, maybe I'll make her come back to Loom sooner.
And he's
It
willing to
worked.
go outside of his comfort zone. Like he's willing
Yes.
to grow and expand and ultimately be vulnerable, right? Because it's
Mm.
like, as a man, just from my own personal experience, you're like salsa dancing. My immediate thought is, oh, I wouldn't be good at that right away. So I should
No,
probably avoid that because I don't want to look stupid in front of this woman that I like.
exactly.
But at the end of the
Exactly.
day, your willingness to look stupid or practice behind closed doors until you don't look stupid anymore
Yeah.
demonstrates power, real power and real strength in your ability to change the world around you, which is what you just said. Like, that's masculinity. Masculinity is not putting up a shield and hiding from anything that could hurt you. It's facing the things head on and allowing yourself to be hurt, knowing that you're bigger than the pain or discomfort or whatever, whatever, and you're able to go through it. So then he got good at salsa, right? And now you guys are fucking killing it.
Oh yeah, we're getting better and better, and I
That's
love it.
amazing.
It's like probably
That's so
one of
cool.
my absolute favorite activities. I'm like,
Hell yeah.
like
You and every woman on the planet. Every
I
women
get
love
like this
dancing.
girly when I'm dancing. I'm like,
That's
oh.
great. That's fucking great. And it's yeah, I mean that's like one of those across the board kind of things, when I approached you about this podcast, I talked about how like the point is to build this picture of how every woman is different, but there's always these themes like safety and respect. You said honesty is an amazing one. We can talk about that in a second.
Loyalty. Oh,
Loyalty, but like movement, movement and dancing. Like it's
movement.
every single woman who's been on this podcast is like it's necessary. And
Movement.
dudes are over here looking for
Passion.
the perfect line. They're like, what do I
Mhm.
say to like make her like me? It's like, dude, you got to become the whole picture. You got to move.
Yeah.
You got to take care of yourself. You got to be connected to something greater than yourself, et cetera, et cetera. Tell us
Oh yeah.
about. I know this is kind of elementary. It's sort of self-explanatory, but at the same time, again, like I think so many guys are caught up in like, what's the right shirt to buy? I have to be taller, I have to be stronger, this kind of stuff. Tell us about how honesty and loyalty trump all of that stuff, are greater than the way that a guy looks or how much he can lift.
Mm. I mean, taking care of your body is really good. Like taking care of your physical body and your health is really important because like if we want to have like a long-lasting relationship, health is very important. Like for me, sustainability and seeing like a future with someone is really important. But that is not possible if someone is not, as you said, trustworthy or honest, open, loyal, because like then that's just gonna pull us apart. It's gonna create absolutely unnecessary damage that
Mhm.
we really don't want, and things that might be so damaging that it's hard to repair even. Because like honestly, every relationship will face some kind of, hurt and damage. We will step on each other's toes or we'll trigger each other, etc. It's okay, but we can repair by showing up, by being present, by listening, by really wanting to hear what the other person is saying and taking in, like, what is this person really experiencing? What is this person trying to convey with the words they are using? Like, really listening, like, not only with your ears, but with your heart, like,
Mm,
really running it through your system like mm, that's hot. Because a beautiful body and a beautiful face will fade, or at least it will
eventually.
grow old.
Yeah, change.
It might be super beautiful still, but it will grow old. But like a beautiful soul, a beautiful heart, a beautiful mind, that is something that can be more and more beautiful over time. That is something we can cultivate and grow together. So a person that's wanting to be open and wanting to grow with me, trumps everything.
Hell yeah. I love it. And again, just for anybody watching this that's wondering more about like the tangibles of like, because Claudia said, I want you not just to hear me, but actually listen and process it. Take it through your body, let it go to your heart, let the electricity from your brain pervade throughout every cell in your body so this actually becomes a part of you. How do you do that? You still your mind, right? If she's talking and all you're thinking about is like, what am I gonna eat later? Oh, I got these deadlines at work, like da, 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 all this shit. You can't. You don't have the space in yourself to take in what she's giving you. And so then that cuts
Mm,
off the circuit of what you're giving her is not as much as it could be, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to create this space in your own life. I talk about it all the time. Like meditation is like the greatest dating hack. And guys are so quick to jump to the externals, but you can create so much progress in all of your life and especially dating through stilling your mind, calming yourself down, getting in touch with your own thoughts and emotions, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So things are going awesome. The communication's awesome. There's honesty and trust. So even though there's like, kind of frictions around like his previous relationship and your previous relationship, things are still escalating because you trust each other. So then
yes.
what happens? You start like seeing each other, you're going out at like a more official capacity, but you're not necessarily like exclusive yet. What happens next?
Oh, we were exclusive from the start.
Oh, you were okay.
Yeah, that was like, even though we were not together, like we were kind of dating, we were like exclusive. Like I'm exclusively dating you.
Hmm.
I think that was really important for both of us because like we're super monogamous and value like exclusivity a lot, but we were not official. We were not like kind of like, yeah, speaking about each other as like my partner
Hmm.
to our friends or family and stuff like that. But yeah, after a
Talk,
while, we came there as well. We got to that point as well.
yeah, talk to us about the term partner because I had this for the first. I'll tell a personal story. I was at my yoga teacher training in Rishikesh in India, maybe 5 years ago, and I heard this woman talking about her partner. She was like, "Oh, my partner, we did this, we did that, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, she's gay." Right? Because that's like she's a woman talking about her partner who must be another woman, otherwise she would just say my boyfriend. And so I'm like, "Okay, she's gay." And so we keep talking. Days later, I'm like, "Oh yeah, your partner and you da da da." I say something to the effect of like her partner being a woman, and she's like, "No, I'm straight. Like my partner's a dude." And I asked her like, "Oh, that's funny that you like say partner. Like, why don't you say boyfriend?" And she went into, this whole revealing thing to me at the time about how, boyfriend sounds childish. It sounds immature. It sounds like it doesn't like connotate this level of connection that we have and the support that we give to each other and stuff like that. So, can you talk to us about from your own personal experience, like what does partnership mean to you? What does the word partner mean to you? And then like how can guys embody that? So they're not just looking for a girlfriend and they're not just trying to be a boyfriend, but they actually can engage in partnership.
Yeah. Yeah, so partnership for me is commitment. It's like a
Mm,
choice. I choose to go in here with you with the fun and the excitement, but also through the struggles. Like we're doing this together. Like we are locking arms and we're a team now.
yeah,
And for me, like there is like a kind of like a qualification process. And
totally. Tell us about it.
I would like to tell everyone who's listening as well, like try to see what you actually want and need in a partner. Because like if we're not having any kind of framework of who we want to be with, or some kind of requirements that we have for a partner, then we might get lost in chemistry. Chemistry is
Totally.
amazing for like a sexual partner, like for a lover. But if we want to have a partner, there are different elements that needs to be in place. Do we share values together? Do we have a similar view of the future? Like, what makes us happy? What do we want to kind of like, what makes life fun? Can
How do
we
you spend your
share
time? Yeah.
those, can we share those things together? Like, how do we repair after conflict?
Hmm.
Like things like that, like trust and emotional emotional intimacy. I would say, like for me as a woman, I think that is as important as sexual intimacy, because that is actually what's like, if my heart feels safe, my body relax, and then I can have fun. If you
Hell
understand, like
yeah.
if my heart doesn't feel safe, it feels like I'm kind of like retracting, and I get a little bit like more hyper vigilant, and I'm looking for danger, you
Hmm.
know? And I want to be able to relax. I want to be able to feel safe. I want to be held. Also, actually physically held. If I go through a struggle, like I want my partner to be there, like literally, not only hold space for me so that I can talk, then I can go to a psychiatrist or friend. But my partner, like, yeah, I want you to hold me, like physically, emotionally, mentally, like, as you said, holding space, but also having space for me to kind of like take up some space. And then we can share like how to move around things.
I love it. And this is gonna be like this video is not actually gonna be on YouTube, but if it was on YouTube, that everything you just said would be that moment where it has like the most replayed little spike right there because that was so good. And I have there's like so many different little tangents I want to go on from here, but I think probably the most important one for the folks at home, and again, this is like for men to understand women. And as men, we think in terms of linear actions, right? I love the concepts. I loved everything that she's talking about. What do I do is the question on their mind. And so, in terms of you talked about like your heart opening, your heart feeling safe, what are some of the things that men can do in order to facilitate that heart opening in women? Or just from your own personal experience, right? You don't necessarily have to speak on like, this is what women in general want, but just like for you personally, what are some instances where you've just been like, yes.
For example, if I'm going through something, like maybe I've just had a really stressful day or stressful week, and I just want to relax and I want to vent to my partner a little bit, like, and if I start talking and my partner just tries to fix things, it's like it feels like he's not really present. But
Hmm.
what you can do in that moment is actually ask the woman, like ask her, okay, do you want me to just listen to you? Do you want to have some like advice? You want me to help you try to fix an issue, or do you just want me to hold you? Like, because I can swear like more than half of the times, probably 80% of the time, she just wants to talk and be held. She doesn't want to be fixed. She doesn't want any kind of like solution. She just wants to like, breathe it out and be seen and held through it. And then she can just let it go or fix it on her own. But sometimes she might want to have like your logical mind and, like a structure to kind of see how to fix like a more complex situation. Sure, but ask first.
The
That's a good
demystification of
thing.
women.
Yeah.
All you got to do is ask. And again, the key point there that I think you made is like, be present. Don't just be like on your computer, like, what is it that you need? It's like put everything down, like give her your undivided attention, listen for a moment. Maybe you can suss out without even asking verbally what it is that she's looking for. But if you're feeling confused as a man, it's okay to ask. It's okay to ask your partner for that clarity. That's what she can give you is like you say like what is it that you need in this moment? And then she can tell you and then you can give it to her. And that's partnership.
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, what's what's next for you guys? Like what is the future vision that you have for this relationship?
First and foremost, they're going back to Tulum in 1 week. I live there with him, with all of the cats.
With
We have a
fucking
lot of
25 cats?
cats.
Oh my God, that's so
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's crazy, but I love it. And our vision is like my vision first and foremost is to create some kind of like holistic health center.
Mm,
But I also want to have our house. I want a bigger house where we can live and we can have like an outdoor space for the animals and like room for workshops, ceremonies, relationship work, and kind of like tantra, sensuality workshops, etc. Like those are the things that we are kind of like wanting to create and give more value to the world, more healing, more openness, more connection to spirit, to ourselves, to each other, because it all goes hand in hand. Like the more we connect
absolutely.
to ourselves and spirit, the more we can connect with one another.
Absolutely. And Haley obviously wants to start healing centers all around the world. So
That's
if
so
if
fun. I
if you
love
need a
that.
doctor down in Tulum, holler at us. We'll talk about that off the podcast because this is that's a
Let's do
different
that. Let's,
subject.
yeah.
If you could give one piece of advice to guys in dating, guys who want to date more, what would it be?
Learn about your attachment style. Like, right now. Seriously, if you're avoidant, learn about it. Like, and also be willing to work on it. Like attachment styles. If we have an insecure attachment style, we are going to trigger and kind of like block each other from flowing smoothly together. Like one who's like avoidant and one who's maybe anxious will trigger and kind of like it would just be a lot of turbulence, which of course can be a very great gateway for healing, but you have to understand that that's what's happening so that you don't just feel like, oh, this is just too much, this is a lot of work. Like if you have an insecure attachment style, it is going to be a lot of work. Either you do it on yourself, which is a lot harder, and you might not even be able to move as far as if you go together with a partner who wants to do it with you.
Mhm.
So learn about it, read books, like,
Do you have any specific materials? Because I know that attachment styles have been such a big buzz over the last like 5 or 10 years. It's like kind of overwhelming to try to find the proper resources in that field. Is there
yeah.
anything that you have personally gained a lot of insight from?
Yeah, so there's one book that's called Hold Me Close,
Okay, I'm gonna write this down for the folks at home.
because both, what we need to know is both the avoidant and the anxious just wants more closeness.
Uh-huh.
Even though the anxious is doing all of these kind of covert things. It's kind of like it looks like they don't want to have closeness, but it's actually what they want, but they are simultaneously terrified
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, because it could lead to pain. I mean, if you don't get close,
Yeah,
you can keep yourself in a neutral place. But as soon as you get high on love, you have that kinetic energy and you're able to fall.
yeah. So
Cool. So
learning to
hold me
trust
close.
being in
Check that
that
out.
as well. Yeah.
Learning to
And there is
trust.
another one. Oh, it was called. Hmm. Yeah, I know it in Swedish, but there's, yeah, it's also. There's also the English. Let me just search for it real fast.
Yeah, if you don't find it
Um,
right now, just text it to me later. I'll put it on the list.
let's see. Oops, where did it go?
Because I got a couple more big picture questions for you in these last like 10, 15 minutes
Mm,
of this podcast.
yeah.
If you could make
The
one,
answer, how to start a relationship and make it last with Don Josefsson and Egil Linge.
start a relationship and make it last. Okay, perfect. So now we got a bit of a reading list going on. That's awesome. That's the
That's how
Swedish
it,
one.
yeah, that's how it looks like on the, yeah, the
Perfect.
answer.
Perfect.
It's great. It helped me so much. Me and my previous partner, we just decided to break the cycle of anxious avoidant. So good.
Hell yeah. We got it written down now. So for anybody who wants to take this deeper, you don't have to buy stuff from me. You don't have to buy stuff from Claudia, even though you should get your water down for sure because it's
Yeah,
gonna
you
change your
should
whole
for
life.
sure. This helps. All of it.
But we're
Makes it
here,
juicy, man.
we're here to help people learn and grow completely separately from the fact that we're running businesses and making money, right? Both of these things are true simultaneously. So you don't have to give us money in order to benefit and grow from this stuff. There's free
Yeah.
resources, there's books, which are like ultra low ticket resources, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Please go as deep with this journey as you feel. Don't feel like we're just here, like, oh yeah, I can't learn from Kevin and Claudia unless I give them money. It doesn't work like that. Okay. So get it straight. Don't get it twisted. Okay. Um,
Yeah. What else do we want? We have like 15 minutes or 10.
yeah. So I got a couple more questions for you. First one, if you could make one shift in modern dating, if you could change one thing about the way that people are going about dating in 2024, what would it be?
I would actually say that stop playing all of these power plays. Like, it's not about who's strongest or having the most, to say in a relationship. Like, if your partner is losing, you're losing. Like,
Mm,
it's about giving each other energy, like unconditionally, and just seeing each other bloom. And that should be enough. If you really are interested in someone or love someone, like just seeing them smile should be enough for you. And also normalizing having like requirements or asking for what you
mm,
want and
mm,
need in a relationship and not only focusing on boundaries. Because boundaries are very important. We need them. But how about we start focusing on all of the doors we want to open instead? Like, this is what I want. This is what I crave. This is what I desire. Like, talk about that.
yep.
Ask
Yep.
the people you're meeting, like, what do you desire? What do you want to create? And then cheer them on. Like, really cheer them on. Like, yeah, like, wow, how do you think that would make you feel? And like, really, like, move into that space with one another. Because that's
Explore
where
it.
we
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah. And then be honest about it too. If like, wow, that's something that we could do together. Or wow, I don't think that's for me at all, but I wish you the absolute best with that.
Exactly.
Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Last one on here, the biggest one. So you've known me since before I was even doing dating coaching. And you know that the common theme of my work is really to teach people how to love themselves, right? Because I think at the end of the day, it all comes back to, if you want to have a better business, you need to have a better relationship with yourself. If you want to have better relationships with others, you need to have a better relationship with yourself. If you want to change your body, if you want to change your environment, et cetera, it all starts with you. Like you are your point of connection to the rest of existence. So you
Yeah.
have to love yourself. You have to love your conduit. You have to love your avatar. You have to love this little hole of which like divinity flows through you into the rest of reality, right? So the question for you, Claudia, is like, what does self-love mean to you, and how can people, specifically men in this instance, cultivate more love for themselves?
Oh, wow. Okay. Like this question is so deep for me. Like love is the absolute power, like the highest power of the universe. And I would actually like try to talk about it from a place of like my higher mind, like my observer, like being the observer of the human that you are inhibiting during this lifetime, realizing that your vessel, your avatar, is a human, with all of these emotions and fears, and he's like a kid, trying new things, like, and sometimes you might stumble and fall on your face, right? And you might feel like, oh shit, like, and then you can decide if you want to laugh laugh about it, or if you want to cry about it, or if you want to shame yourself. Like, please don't shame yourself. Like, if anything, if you fail, give yourself like a pat on the back. Like, yeah, that was brave. That was a good first attempt, or 10th attempt, or whatever. Like, things take time. Like, be patient with yourself and try to see, look at yourself as you're like, have this like love towards yourself as you would have had towards a child. Like,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, we are still all kind of like children inside as well,
Just bigger
as well
children.
as what?
Just bigger children.
Just bigger children. We also have this wise man or wise woman inside. Like, let these parts of you like honor each other. Like how this, but I see myself almost like a two-part being, like the higher mind and the human, like, and letting these two encourage each other and have fun together, and like just having a loving relationship with self. That is like just as you would with a partner or a friend. Like, if someone makes a mistake, what do you do? Like, oh shit, I understand. I think you're great for trying. Get up, try again. You'll do better next time. Like, be kind. Be kind to yourself. Have fun. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, like, shit. Sometimes if you messed up, like, whoa, you messed up. Woo, but you learned something, right? And you just take that in. It's like, oh shit, that was hard, but I learned something, and take that and cherish that. And then for the next time, like, I've got some gold here now. And you can just like share that with the world, because then your self-love is also reflected into the world.
That's so beautiful.
Don't take yourself too seriously. That's what I'm trying to say. Say whoops if something happens, like, oh shit, it's okay. It's all right.
Again, that's going to be the most replayed part on the video. So let me see if I'm understanding this correctly. Paraphrase it a little bit just so that the folks at home get it. Number one, self-love defined is a reconciliation of the different parts of you. Instead of seeing yourself as I am this one thing, I'm a strong man. It's being able to say, I'm a strong man, I'm a wise man, I'm a child, I'm a higher self, I'm a goofball, I'm playful, it's all these different things. Sometimes I'm a loser, I'm a burnout, I'm a stoner. It's all these different things, and allowing them to have love for each other instead of fighting each other and trying to, kill each other and eliminate each other so that I'm only a strong man,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's self-love defined.
Peace.
And
Peace.
in terms of actually loving yourself, putting it into practice, I think the biggest keyword you said is don't take yourself so seriously. You can dedicate your life to a goal without waking up every day and sweating about it, right? We've all had this
Mm.
instance of we wake up and we go to the gym excited versus we wake up and we're like, I have to go to the gym. There is no other way. like to lean into the former rather than the latter and be like, you know, this is important. This life is a gift. I'm here to experience this and appreciate this. But it's not like I have to do anything in order to be worthy of existence. I don't have to do anything to love myself. I just get to love myself. And so if you can take yourself less
Yeah.
seriously, kind of like you said, take a step back, see yourself as the bigger child that you are, and then treat yourself the way that you would treat a child. Like if a child slips and falls, you don't say, Get up, little bitch." You know, like
No,
start
you
yelling.
don't.
You don't start yelling at him. Like you're like, "Oh my God, like, are you okay? Like you're doing great. Keep going." Right? So you encourage him,
Yeah.
like you just said, be kind to yourself.
Yeah, and also like actually honestly allow yourself to cry if
Mm,
you need to. Like there's so much stigma around crying for men, like showing themselves vulnerable. Like that's my number one green flag.
mm.
If a man is able to cry or show himself vulnerable, like for me, that just melts me to the core. Like that is so beautiful, so brave, so strong. Like keeping up a facade is, I don't know, it's not as attractive. Like allow yourself to feel. It's beautiful and you can learn so much from your feelings.
Hell yeah. That's I think the perfect stopping point. We have just a couple minutes left here, so let's get out of here. First of all, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you being here. I was telling Claudia on the pre-call, we did a little check-in because we hadn't talked in a couple months. I was like, I got some people lined up for August 14th, but you just said that you could do it. And so I was like, can you guys push back? Like she's in Sweden, she's in another country. We got to get her booked in here. So thank you so much for making the time to do this. I'm so excited to transition into the conversation workshop that we're going to do next with the paid clients. Any closing remarks as we get out of here? Any last words that you want to give to the men or women of Earth around love and dating and relationships?
Yeah, actually, I would like for you to share a little bit about that because we were talking a little bit yesterday and you told me about the one thing that I have helped you with.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, and it would be so nice to just hear a little bit about that because that's also touching on what I just said.
Yeah, 100%. So point me in the right direction if I don't say this exact same thing that I said yesterday, but basically I met Cloudy at a point in my life when things were coming up, right? I had spent 25 years of my life pushing the emotions down, 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 down. Don't feel them. Don't experience them. Specifically, it has to do with I had a bunch of teeth removed as a child, and it hurt me physically, emotionally, all kinds of stuff. But around age 25, 26, whatever, I had finally come to terms with it. Like I had finally been in this place of like, okay, I don't need to like do drugs anymore to numb it out. I don't need to like be a womanizer to validate myself and seek approval of others, et cetera, et cetera. I was finally in a place that I was like, maybe I'm okay just the way I am. And as soon as I reached that realization, it was like a beautiful plateau where I felt like I could finally breathe. But as soon as I took that breath in, I felt the pain. All of this pain that I had been pushing down for so long, it like finally came up. And Claudia was actually, as she touched on earlier, she was in California visiting me at this time that this was happening. And it was the first time in my life that I was just like, fuck it. I was like, I'm hurting so much right now, and I'm not popping pills. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm not smoking weed. We smoked a little weed, but I'm not, I'm not just like smoking insane amounts of weed all day, every day. That like I'm just gonna feel it. I'm just gonna say fuck it. I'm not gonna worry about it. And every single woman I had ever spent time with in the past, I had been in this old paradigm of like I have to be macho, I have to be tough, I have to be strong. I can't let her see me cry, I can't let her see me suffer or be in pain at all or any of this. And I just threw it all out the window. I was like, Claudia's mature as fuck. She's emotionally intelligent as shit. If anybody can handle this, it's her. And what it turned out to be was just a beautiful experience where like I didn't erupt and I didn't implode. There was no giant cataclysmic disaster. It was just like this slow burn of like, oh my God, like this is life. Like we're really all just out here having this human experience. And so we shared, a couple weeks together of incredible fun. We went to Yosemite, we hiked through the Mariposa Grove and stuff. We went to the lake house. We like hung out on the paddleboard and shot potatoes out of a potato can and onto the lake and had all of these incredibly fun experiences that were also intertwined with nights where we would come home and I would be like, dude, I am like fucking feeling it right now. This is crazy. Like, should we keep
Mm.
doing stuff? Should we keep partying? Should we do this? And she's like, no, like, you're okay. Like, it's okay to feel this. Like, just breathe. And yeah, for the first time in my life, I did exactly that. I allowed myself to feel my emotions without getting sucked down into an abyss of darkness, and I allowed myself to enjoy myself without chasing dopamine highs, using drugs and substances and, things outside of myself to experience the full range of human emotions. And she got to be there for that for like, yeah, like probably the first human being, because for fucking sure my parents never saw me in that light. Neither did my friends, neither did any women that I was dating. And so Claudia got to see me in that space, and it was extraordinarily cathartic, and it changed the trajectory of my life forever. So thank you so much for that.
It was my honor, absolute honor. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited for moving on to the second part of
Cool, cool, cool. Let's
this
jump into it.
evening
So
as well. Thank you everyone
thanks
for
for watching, guys. If
listening.
you're a paid client, we'll see you on the other side.